game are in the field, Tim, Montoya, and behind home plate, Clint Baxter.
Well, good evening once again, baseball fans, and welcome to Pickles Baseball. Tonight's non-league tune-up here at Walker Stadium as your Pickles host the Gresham GreyWolves of the Wild Wild West League. I'm Mike Jex, working alongside Gary Crow, Mo, Andrew, Nick, and Simon, along with many others, and we will be bringing you all of the action tonight and for the rest of the 2023 season. Tonight is Goonies night here at the Walk, presented by Migration Brewing. It's also Rockin' the Walk Friday with 40 Feet Tall playing near the left field berm. Get your best Truffle Shuffle ready because Pickles never say die. We're going to kick it down to tonight's public address announcers, Jeremiah Coughlin and JT, for the introduction of tonight's baseball game.
The One-Eyed Willie's treasure hunt. Clue, collect all 8 different forms. Hey Pickles fans, are you interested in purchasing season tickets for the 2023 Pickles season? Of course you are. Limited ticket packages are still available, but spots are filling up fast. Be sure to add your name to the 2023 Pickles season ticket waitlist at picklesbaseball.com. For your own personal safety and the safety of all those around you, please be aware that a ball or bat may leave the playing field at any time and enter the spectator areas. Please pay attention while you enjoy the game. Welcome back to Walker Stadium for tonight's matchup between the Gresham GreyWolves and your Portland Pickles. My name is Steve. I will be your PA announcer for this evening. That magnificent sex symbol out there on the field, Jeremiah. Tonight, Game 7 of the 2023 regular season will be played at Walker Stadium this summer. Tonight, we're back in the Walk for Rockin' the Walk and Goonies night. We got games till Monday, 19th. Hey guys, Truffle Shuffle your way to Walker Stadium, down to the left field berm, and rock out with 40 feet tall. And get ready to Truffle Shuffle for Goonies night with the Pickles. Jeremiah, are we ready to go down there with our first pitch?
Yeah. I think we are. We got a real special guest.
All right, let's get into it. Our ceremonial first pitch of tonight's game will be thrown by the one, the only, Ron the K-Man.
Okay, make some noise for Ron the K-Man, will you? Here comes the catcher, don't worry.
time to now meet the starters for tonight's game. First, for the Gresham GreyWolves, batting first, playing right field from Claremont McKenna, Blaze Air. Batting second, playing center field from Puget Sound, Matthew. Batting third, playing first from Berea College, Jaden Junta. Batting fourth, playing catcher from Catholic University of America, Michael Miller. Batting fifth and playing second from the University of Puget Sound, Kellen Fred. Batting sixth, playing DH, Skagit Valley College, Elijah Maida. Batting seventh, third base from Bushnell College, Dylan Martin. Batting eighth, designated hitter from Clark College, Chico Huntington. Batting ninth, playing shortstop from Lubbock Christian, Donnie Womack. And batting 10th, playing left field from Hawaii Hilo, Tyler Reese. Starting pitcher tonight will be Spencer Simon from George Fox, and the head coach is Jason Stanley. Now, folks, it's time to meet the starting lineups for your Portland Pickles. Batting first, playing center field from Cal State Bakersfield, Tyler Stancato. Batting second, playing left field from Cal State Fullerton, Robin Shida. Batting third, DH from St. Mary's College, Dalton Mitchell. Batting fourth, playing right field from UW, Cooper Witten. Batting fifth, playing second from Long Beach State, Armando Gresino. Batting sixth, playing third from Southwestern Oregon Community College, Elijah Henning. Batting seventh, playing first from University of Hawaii, Kevin Ferguson. Batting eighth, catching from UCLA, Ashton Duggar. And batting ninth, DH, Houston Christian University, Luke Barnes. Batting 10th, playing shortstop from Cal Poly, Alejandro Garza. And your starting pitcher tonight is Drew Stapleton from San Jose State University. The Pickles are coached by Associate Head Coach from Clackamas Community College, Jim Hobble, Assistant Coach from Clark College, Jordan Barkas, and Manager from Clark College, Mark Magdalano. At this time, we ask you to please rise and move your hat and direct your attention to the flag in left field for our national anthem, sung by Quentin Gardner.
Alrighty, baseball friends, welcome back. Thank you all for joining us here on this Friday night from Walker Stadium in the Lentz neighborhood of Portland, Oregon. Game time temperature here at the stadium, 77 degrees, with a 6-mile-an-hour wind out of the north to northwest. Not gonna lie, I don't necessarily believe the 77-degree part, but that's what I'm being told, so that's what I'm telling y'all. It is Goonies night here at the stadium. We've actually got a treasure hunt going on for gold coins that have been hidden around the stadium. Not exactly sure what the prizes are, but just some more fun here at the stadium. Obviously, you saw a huge group of Little Leaguers here at the stadium tonight. Little League night usually Sundays, but it is the first Friday after school has let out, and the crowd here is humongous. Both the left and right field berms well represented out there. Fans up and down the first base line. It looks like a majority of the picnic tables out in center field are spoken for. Should be a great night for baseball. No sun in the sky to speak of right now. It is cloudy here at Walker Stadium. Lights already on. Tom Jones checking in. Hello, friend. Debbie, my mom, April H. Good to have you all along. Welcome. Should be a fun Friday night game. Since this is a non-league game, both teams batting 10 tonight. I've been given advance warning from Coach Maggs that the Pickles will most likely be pitching 9 different players tonight. 1 for each inning, so Drew Stapleton to start us off. First pitch of the ball game at 7:14, misses for ball 1. Over-under tonight has been set for 3 hours and 1 minute for those of you that like to play along at home. Wind and the 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and a bouncer to the left side, charging third baseman Elijah Henning, throw over to first, not in time. Infield single for Blaze Hare. Blaze just beating out the throw from Henning. Matthew Matheny up to bat for the GreyWolves. Defensively for your Pickles, Cashel Duggar behind home plate, Kevin Ferguson at first, Armando Briseño at second, Elijah Henning at third, Alejandro Garza at short. First pitch to Matheny, high, ball 1. Draven Nushida, Kyler Stancato, and Cooper Witten, your outfielders from left to right. 1-0 pitch on the way, gets away from Duggar. Passed ball, Blaze Hare advancing to second base. So runner on in scoring position already for the Gresham GreyWolves. BFXP 63 checking in, welcome. Stapleton's 2-0 pitch on the way, misses high, ball 3. 3-0. That one in at 89, a 4-seam fastball. Carey checking in, hello. Jeff hanging out at the stadium in person, that's right. Stapleton comes set. 3-0 pitch on the way. That one over for a strike. Catches the outer part of the plate at 89. 3-1. Another 4-seam fastball from Stapleton as he comes set at the waist. Brings in the 3-1, swung on and fouled off towards the Pickles dugout. Count goes full on Matthew Matheny. Jaden Junta on deck for the GreyWolves. Coach Maggs due up to hang out with me sometime in the 3rd or 4th inning. 3-2 pitch on the way, misses low and inside, ball 4. Lost control of an 89-mile-an-hour 4-seam fastball. Matheny works a walk. First 2 batters have gotten aboard for Gresham. Jaden Junta to the plate. So if any of y'all have questions for Coach Maggs that you'd like me to ask, toss those in the chat, and I will do my best to cover as many of those as I can in the time we have allowed. Stapleton looks back at second. First pitch of the at-bat. Bends in for a strike at 73. Nice looking slider, 0-1. Debbie taking the under, BFXP63 taking the over. Pretty split here in the press box as well. 0-1 pitch on the way, misses outside. Another slider at 73. Was the anthem singer the center field camera operator? I don't believe so. 1-1 pitch, over for a strike. 89-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Back to the fastball, 1-2 the count. Stapleton set. 1-2 on the way, misses low and away. Nice stop by Duggar behind the plate. 2-2, runners stay. Blaze Hare on at first, Matthew Matheny Hare on at second, Matthew Matheny on at first. The nice thing about the swirling winds here at the stadium tonight, the bubbles might actually make it out to the field of play. That ball popped over towards the right field berm. Nope, not quite all the way over there. Did not get out to the parking lot, though. Count goes to 2-2. That one another four-seam fastball, this time at 88. We'll run through the West Coast League scores for you a little bit later. Catch you up on the action there. 2-2 pitch on the way. Misses just off the plate at 89. Stapleton was close with that one, just didn't quite get the call. Comes set at the waist once more. Exhales, now brings in the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Got him, strike three. Strikes him out on another four-seam fastball. This one 89. First strikeout for Pickles pitchers. Stapleton set. Looks back towards second. First pitch of the at-bat, a dribbler up the third base line, heading with it, throw over to first base, gets him this time. 5-3 the put out on Michael Miller. Runners advance 90 feet. Hare checks in at third. Matheny on now at second. Two runners in scoring position for the GreyWolves. Orlando checking in. Hello. Glad to have you, friend. Stapleton set his first pitch, swung on and hit sharply down the third baseline, but foul. 0-1. Everybody resets now. Draven Nushida jogging back out to his position in left field. Stapleton set. 0-1 pitch on the way. Misses low at 90, a four-seam fastball. 1-1. Believe that's the first time he's cracked 90, isn't it, Nick? All right, sweet. Stapleton set, 1-1 pitch on the way. No, up and on the upper part of the zone. 79-mile-an-hour changeup, 1-2. I'm not going to second guess the pitching tonight. That's probably smarter for me. Stapleton comes set now again. 1-2 pitch on the way. Got him looking, strike three. Two strikeouts in the inning. Kellen Krebs down on strikes. That'll do it for the GreyWolves here in the first inning. No runs, one hit, no errors, and two runners left on. To the bottom of the first inning we go here at Walker Stadium. No score. Alrighty, broadcast friends, welcome back.
Pickles.
That is Clint Baxter behind home plate, Tim Montoya out in the field. You may remember them from the last series, and they will be present for the 3-game series that follows this. Tyler Stancato, Draven Nushita, and Dalton Mayshore for your Pickles. Spencer Simon on the bump for the GreyWolves. First pitch for him. Misses inside at 70, a changeup, 1-0. Simon set. 1-0 pitch on the way, misses high and outside, ball 2. Defensively for the Gresham GreyWolves, that's Michael Miller behind the dish, Jaden Junta at first, Kellen Krebs at second, Dylan Martin at third. 2-0 pitch on the way, misses outside, ball 3, 3-0. Danny Womack is at shortstop, Tyler Reese, Matthew Matheny, and Blaze Hare, your outfielders from left to right. 3-0 pitch on the way, that one over for a strike. 78-mile-an-hour fastball, 3-1. Nice job on the first pitch, Ron. I did hear you say that you weren't sure where it was going to go, but you got it in the direction of home plate and on one bounce. Well done. 3-1 pitch missing high and away, ball 4. Leadoff walk for Kyler Stancato.
Number 36, Draven Nushita.
Left fielder Draven Nushita to the plate. Takes practice swing, steps in now. Stancato will lead over at first as Simon comes set. His first pitch to Draven, swung on to the bouncer towards short. Womack to second for 1, the relay to first in time. 6-4-3 double play. I did see that double play was on at least one of the Pickles bingo cards that April made. We'll figure out how to get that into the broadcast somehow or another. Maybe we'll do a bingo night. Simon now facing Dalton Mayshore. First pitch Mayshore sees, misses away at 71. Ball 1. Well, maybe I will throw out a first pitch sometime. We'll see about that. Wind in the 1-0 pitch on the way inside. Mayshore turns away, did not get hit. Count goes to 2-0. If I threw out the first pitch, Matthew would love that because that means he'd get to do the broadcast for a little bit. 2-0 pitch on the way in. That one high, ball 3. Four-seam fastball missing up at 81. Well, like I said, we'll find a way to work those into the broadcast one of these days. Wind and the 3-0 pitch on the way now. That one catches the outer black on the plate. 79-mile-an-hour fastball, 3-1. Taking high socks to new heights. Well played, friend. 3-1 pitch missing away. Dalton Mayshore working a walk. Second walk this inning from Spencer Simon. Pickles with 1 on and 2 down. And that'll bring up the right fielder, number 4, Cooper Whitten. Whitten from the University of Washington. Make sure to knock all of the dirt off the cleats before standing into the batter's box. Does a little excavation and now settles in. Mayshore a conservative lead at first. Pitch on the way. Misses low, jumped anyway. The throw down to second base. Nice throw by Michael Miller. Just not quite in time. Credit Dalton Mayshore with a stolen base. Sitting there looking like he wasn't going to run over at first base. Then on Simon's first motion, took off and just barely beat the throw from Miller, which was on the money. Simon looks back at second now. 0-1 pitch on the way. That one over for a strike at 70 miles an hour. Nice looking slider from Simon. Mayshore a lead at second now. Wind in the 0-2 pitch. Just misses inside. It must have been 69-mile-an-hour slider. Tim did call him safe. And he was safe, just beat the throw in. A close call, though. Look back towards second base. 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on and hit towards short. Danny Womack over to first. In time, got him 6-3, the put out on Witten, and that'll do it for the Pickles here in the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one runner left on. First frame of the ball game is complete. No score here at Walker Stadium.
Tired of beer that's just too bland? No problem! Introducing the amazing Voodoo Ranger IPA. It's bright, popping, plus you can take it almost anywhere. So stop drinking boring beer and start living rangerously today.
I'm just not ready to go back to a gym.
Well, clearly you haven't gone crunch mode.
Crunch mode?
It's the feeling that you get
when you finish up a set.
Everyone working up a sweat. When you're hating your trainer, but love her when you're done.
Working out the meal, you know the one. Yeah, that's crunch mode.
Crunch mode.
Join Crunch Fitness. Membership start at $9.99 a month.
Fitness.
A man of his words is Coach Mag. Said he was going to pitch 9 pitchers tonight. New pitcher out on the mound for your Portland Pickles. That is number 19, Sam Rice. Sam Rice takes over for Drew Stapleton, who went an inning, surrendered a hit, walked a batter, and struck out 2. Looks like the wind might have died down at the start of the game tonight. The flags out in both left and right field were blowing. The ones out in left field do not seem to be moving much at all. The ones out in right field still swaying back and forth a little bit. Also, we're not getting near as many bubbles out in front of the press box, so another good sign that the wind has died down some here at the walk. In the absence of sun, the lights are already on. Those went on right about the start of game. First pitch, the second inning, swung on and missed by Elijah Maeda. He'll be followed by Dylan Martin and Chico Huntington for Gresham. Rice has his sign and is set. 0-1 pitch on the way, misses outside and low, ball 1, 1-1. Ron, do not tell them to do that. That was a 74-mile-an-hour slider. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but don't make life harder for our coworkers. Rice comes set, 1-1 pitch on the way, just off the plate, outside. 2-1, 85-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball just missing. Sam's 2-1 pitch on the way. Check swing didn't go. Pitch missing up at 86. 3-1. You are exactly right, BFXP. Great game to work on fundamentals. Get to see some of the players we may not have gotten to see before. 3-1 pitch on the way. Misses up and in at 84. Four-seam fastball. Leadoff walk for Elijah Maeda. Do I have an issue with bubbles? No, I love the bubbles. I do pop them, though. I am one of those people. I will pop the bubbles. Not all of them, but. Rice's first pitch swung on and missed. Nice looking 86-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, 0-1. Dylan Martin playing third tonight. Rice stares into Duggar, excuse me. I keep doing that. Oh, one pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Dylan Martin quickly in the hole, 0-2. Nobody out here, top of the second inning. Sky's actually starting to gray up a little bit. I didn't think the rain was supposed to come until tomorrow. Look over at first, 0-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Swung through an 88-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Dylan Martin down on strikes. First strikeout for Sam Rice. Third strikeout for your Pickles pitchers overall. Yep, Mags is batting 10 tonight since it's an exhibition game, and that is what happens most often in the Wild Wild West League. Also going to be throwing a different pitcher every inning. Was kind enough to give us the order that we would most likely be seeing the pitchers tonight. First pitch to Chico Huntington, missing low at 87. Another four-seam fastball, 1-0. No, I love the bubbles. I love when the kids are coming into the ballpark or like approaching the ballpark outside in the park, and they're like, "Ooh, look, bubbles!" It makes it a more magical experience for them, and why the heck not? 1-0 pitch, upper part of the zone, another four-seam fastball strike. This one at 86. Count evens up 1-1 on the extra hitter tonight for the GreyWolves. Slow toss over to first base. Maeda back safely. Maeda, a returning player to the Gresham GreyWolves from last season. Stretches out his lead over at first base. Rice staring over at him. Now brings in the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Surprise four-seam fastball at 86 miles an hour. 1-2. Again, Maeda lead over at first. 1-2 pitch on the way. Outside, ball 2. 2-2. Right field berm is completely packed. Stands here on the first base side, jammed. Couple open seats, but those are usually spoken for. 2-2 pitch on the way. Check swing, doesn't matter. Called strike 3. 87-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Chico Huntington down looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Sam Rice. That'll bring up shortstop number 2, Danny Womack. Womack stands in. Rice looks over at first, comes set. Pitch on the way. Over first strike at 87, 0-1. Tyler Reese, the left fielder, on deck for Gresham. Maeda, who worked a leadoff walk, still hanging out on first base. Extends his lead enough to throw over, and he got caught in no man's land. Throw down to second base, a little bit high, run back, covered by the shortstop, I believe, and the tag out. 1-3-6-4. 1-3-6-4-1. 1-3-6-1. Thank you. 1-3-6-1. That was the pickoff of Elijah Maeda, and that will do it for Gresham here in the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on to the bottom of the second. We go still. No score here at Walker Stadium. All righty, friends. Top of the second, or bottom of the second inning we go now. Still no score here. It's going to be Armando Briseño, Elijah Henning, and Kevin Ferguson for Portland here in the bottom of the second inning. Spencer Simon out for his second inning work. Briseño steps back in, taps home plate, likes to crowd home plate. 1-0 pitch, misses away. Ball 2, 2-0. Really lying right up on the inside line of the batter's box. .2-0 pitch on the way, just misses away at 79. Four-seam fastball, 3-0. You're right, Rick. That really was almost it'd be 3-1-4, so that'd be first, pitcher, second. 3-0 pitch over for a strike at 79, 3-1. Briseño 1 for 3 in last night's game. Takes the 3-1 pitch and smacks that into center field just past Danny Womack. First base hit for your Pickles. Armando Briseño aboard.
Now to bat for the Picks, number 32, Elijah Henning.
Third baseman Elijah Henning to the plate now for Portland. Stands tall as Simon comes set. Throw over to first base. Briseño dives back safely. Salt City Kitty checking in. Welcome. Glad to have you on the broadcast. Simon set at the belt. Holds. Now brings in the first pitch. Fouled at the plate. Gary said it hit off his leg. 0-1 the count. Everybody resets. Henning takes a practice swing and steps back in. Simon shakes off Miller once. Now comes set. 0-1 on the way. Swung on and again fouled off at home plate. Count goes to 0-2. Henning steps back in. Briseño, two-step lead over at first base. Draws a look from Simon, who comes set. Now with the 0-2, called strike 3. 69-mile-an-hour slider, and Elijah Henning down looking on strike. Spencer Simon's first strikeout. That'll bring up first baseman Kevin Ferguson. Well, wind changing direction here at the stadium once again, now blowing into the press box. Going to be one of those nights. Quick throw over to first base. Briseño dives back safely again. You're not kidding, Ron. The park looks great tonight. Filled. The best crowd I think we've drawn yet this week. Simon comes set. Swung on and missed by Ferguson. 0-1. Four-seam fastball from Spencer. The wind here at the stadium will never cease to amaze and or confuse me. Simon set. 0-1 pitch misses low and away. Nice stop by Miller. Count evens up at 1-1. Briseño again, about a two-step lead over at first base as Simon comes set. Now with the 1-1, misses low at 79 to the four-seam fastball, 2-1. That's right. I promised you all West Coast League scores. I should deliver those. Simon glances over at first base before coming set. Pitch on the way, swung on and fouled off. Almost made it over the netting and toward the press box. Gary was ready. Gary is always ready, though, it seems like. Darn right, friend. Count 2-2 on Kevin Ferguson. As Tom alluded to earlier, the Corvallis Knights losing game 1 of the doubleheader. They are hosting Bend. They lost 7-6 in game 1. In game 2, they've got a commanding 5-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on and popped up. Right side, it coming back. Oh, I heard it hit the stands. Nobody caught it. In Victoria, the Harbor Cats with a 1-0 lead on the Yakima Valley Pippins. That game already in the bottom of the 5th inning. In Wenatchee, the Apple Sox trailing the Kelowna Falcons 3-2. That game in the top of the 4th. Simon's 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on, inside out swing right at Danny Womack. Over to first in time, Armando Briseño moving to second base on the play.
Number 30, Cashel Duggar.
6'3" fielder's choice. So Cashel Duggar coming up with 2 down, runner in scoring position for the Pickles. In Ridgefield, the Raptors playing host to the Cowlitz Black Bears. Those teams knotted at 1 in the bottom of the 5th, and a rain delay in Edmonton. Riverhawks leading the Nanaimo 5-0. First pitch over for a strike. 80-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball, 0-1. Not sure how much of that game they got underway in Edmonton. See what we can find out about that. Briseño with his lead at second base. 0-1 pitch on the way in, swung on and hit to the left side, but that's going to be foul. Just barely to the berm out there in left field. 4. See what we can find out about that Edmonton game. Well, they made it all the way to the bottom of the 6th inning, it looks like. That one, if it gets rained out, might be official. Hit to second. Throw over to first, Krebs to Junta, 4-3 the put out on Cashel, and that will do it for the Pickles here in the 2nd inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on. 2 frames complete. Your score, 0s here at Walker Stadium.
What do you think, son? 8 or 9? For that, I'd use this. Manscaped, huh? Son, back in my day, ladies loved grass in the fairways.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not for down there. The beard hedger's for your face.
Oh, really?
The Beard Hedger features a rotary zoom wheel that provides 20 precision settings with just 1 guard.
Grip it and trim it, baby.
Introducing the Beard Hedger. Order today at manscaped.com.
Welcome back, baseball friends. As advertised, new pitcher for the Portland Pickles. That is going to be Kyler Stancato. That's right, position player pitching, although Stancato does pitch for the Pickles. He takes over for Sam Rice, who goes an inning, does not give up a hit or a run, does walk a batter, and strikes out 2. Kyler Stancato on to face Danny Womack, Tyler Reese, and Blaze Hare. Defensively, as Kyler Stancato was in center field and probably shouldn't be playing both center and pitching at the same time, Blake Haraki taking over in center. Wind, and the first pitch on the way to Danny Womack. Swung on and missed. 88-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, 0-1. Hit sharply towards second base. The throw over to first. In time, Briseño to Ferguson, 4-3, the put out on Danny Womack.
Now to bat for the GreyWolves, number 27, Tyler Reese.
Okay, wait, Gary, is Blake Haraki number 11? Okay, apparently that's Zage Lancaster. First pitch of the at-bat to Tyler Reese, missing, or no, over for a strike at 87, 0-1. I said I wasn't going to guess the pitches, and that pitch fouled away. Count goes to 0-2. So wearing number 11 out in center field, we're being told, is actually Zage Lancaster. Stancato's 0-2 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled off. Count stays 0-2. Clint Baxter returns behind the plate. Stancato set, 0-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed, got him, strike three. Kyler Stancato's first strikeout, 5 overall for Pickles pitchers thus far. And that'll turn the lineup over for Gresham. Blaze Hare back to the plate. Blaze 1 for 1 on the day. First pitch he sees from Stancato, misses inside, ball one. That one at 74 miles an hour, fast. 88, excuse me. Got a lot of people here in the press box. I misread the gun. My bad. Stancato's 1-0 on the way. Swung on, and that one spoiled foul. That one will not stay in the stadium. Count evens up on the GreyWolves right fielder, 1-1. I'm not ignoring you all in the chat. Sorry, things are just a little crazy up here tonight. 1-1 pitch missing low and inside. Ball 2, 2-1. Paul Smithson checking into the chat. Welcome, glad you could join us. 2-1 pitch, misses low at ball 3, 3-1. Stancato grabs a handful of dirt off the back of the mound, now settles in up on the rubber. Goes into his motion, 3-1 pitch on the way, swung on and hit sharply towards short. Alejandro Garza eventually gets the handle throw over to first. Not in time, apparently pulled Kevin Ferguson off the bag. E6 on the play, puts Blaze Hare aboard for the second time. So 1 on, 2 down, and that'll bring up center fielder Matthew Matheny. Mag's coming over to question Tim Montoya about the call over at first base. Tim going to have a conversation with home plate umpire Clint Baxter. Very short conversation as the safe call was confirmed or backed up, or however you'd like to look at it. 2 away, runner on first base for the GreyWolves. That pitch over for a strike, 0-1. The barehanded catch was amazing last night. Stancato comes set, 0-1 pitch on the way. Misses. It just missed, you know. as a pitch does occasionally. 1-1 the count. Sorry, we've got like 6 conversations going up here. Andrew's trying to get the StatCast thing working. You know, your typical Pickles baseball game. Stolen base, Gary. Stolen base. Blaze Hare with a stolen base. Now runner on in scoring position for Gresham. Count 2-1 on Matthew. Hi, friend. What's up? What did I say? Did I call you in? God. That is how much stuff is going on up here. I'm sorry, Matthew. You've been banished to the party deck, and I've just forgotten your name, apparently. 2-1 pitch bounced on the infield. Stancato grabs it, runs it over, tosses to Kevin Ferguson. 1-3 the put out on Matheny, and that will do it for the GreyWolves here in the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on. Friends, it is time for pickle juice drinking competitively, because we made that a thing. Yes, Dylan is dressed up like Sloth tonight because it's Goonies night. Also, we are serving a Baby Ruth inside a pickle as Sloth's favorite pickle. Oh! Close finish in the pickle juice drinking contest tonight. Okay, now April, which is wrong? The pickle juice drinking contest or the Baby Ruth inside a pickle? Dylan looks so good tonight. Dylan sometimes has the best costumes, and that one is fabulous. It appears to be Spencer Simon out on the mound for inning number 3 for the GreyWolves. Luke Bard was originally due up in the lineup, but seeing as Stancato pitched last inning and Zage Lancaster went into play center field, we're not 100% sure yet who we will be seeing coming to bat first here for the Pickles. Who puts chocolate in a pickle? The Portland Pickles do. Well, mystery solved. Number 33 on the back, number 1 in your heart, designated hitter Luke Bard to lead us off here in the 3rd. Simon comes set. First pitch, bottom 3 on the way, misses away at 69, ball 1. I mean, Debbie, it could also be said, why ruin a good pickle that way? Simon set, 1-0 pitch on the way, outside, ball 2, 2-0. 79-mile-an-hour fastball from Simon. Simon's got quite a range in his four-seam fastball. Seems to go from about 79 to 82, somewhere in that ballpark. Pun intended, 2-0 pitch on the way, just floats outside. 68-mile-an-hour slider, 3-0. Bard to be followed by Alejandro Garza. 3-0 pitch. That one over for a strike. 79-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, 3-1. Simon set. 3-1 pitch on the way. Misses low and away, ball 4. Leadoff walk for Luke Bard. Pickles with their first batter aboard for the 3rd consecutive inning. That'll bring up shortstop Alejandro Garza. I met Alejandro's parents yesterday here at the park. They're in town for the weekend. Great to have a conversation with them. They're excited for the season. I'm glad they could be here for the series and the weekend. First pitch, Alejandro sees high, ball 1. Four-seam fastball at 76. That's right. I think that was last season we did the Snickers bar inside a pickle. Or, yeah, Snickers inside a pickle. The Snickle. Yep. Wide in the 1-0 pitch, swung on and popped foul to the right. I also believe last year we did the Kool-Aid covered pickle, did we not? Was that last year? Can't remember if that was last year or the year before. Covered a pickle in Kool-Aid dust. Simon's 1-1 pitch on the way, bunt shown. Popped bunt down the third base line, charging Dylan Martin, could not find the handle. Everybody's safe. Luke Bard moves up. Bunt single for Garza. So first two batters reach for Portland. Lineup turns over, and that is not Kyler Stancato at the dish. That is number 11, Zage Lancaster. Zage taking over defensively for Stancato out in center. Shows bunt, first pitch, misses. Pitch call to strike, 0-1. Up. Somebody needs to go tell JT that's actually Zage Lancaster. Zage awaits the 0-1 pitch, swung on and popped foul to the right side. Oh, and 2 the count. Simon's 0-2 on the way, swung on, and that one hit hard out into center field. Going back on the ball, Matheny makes the catch. Everybody goes back to tag up, and Matthew gets the ball back into the infield quickly. F8 retires Zage Lancaster, 1 away.
Now batting to the picks, number 36, Raven Nushida.
Still 2 on, 1 out. Draven Nushida, the left fielder, up. Draven bounced into the textbook 6-4-3 double play back in the first inning. First pitch he sees this inning misses. 80-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, 1-0. Yeah, probably the hardest hit ball we've seen so far tonight, Debbie. Oh, for those of you that watched the broadcast last night, 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and hit towards first, and that is going to get through for a base hit. Hitting third base and heading home, Luke Bard. He is in. Raise those chairs, Pickle fans. RBI single for Draven Nushida, and your Pickles are on the board. Garza moving from first to third on the single.
Number 1, Dalton Mayshore.
So runners on the corners for Dalton Mayshore. Blue and green smoke rising from the bullpen areas out in left field. Simon set. Pitch on the way. Misses at 70 miles an hour. Slider 1-0. Ron, you know on nights like this, I'm barely given the roster, let alone who the bat boy is. Come on now. Simon set. 1-0 pitch on the way. That one's over for a strike at 79. 14 bat fastball, 1-1. Smoke just lingering out there above left field as the wind seems to have all but died down here at the walk. 1-1 pitch, misses low and away. Miller with a nice stop. 2-1 the count. That one is 69-mile-an-hour slider that missed outside. 2-1. Nushida a lead at first. Garza a lead at third. 2-1 pitch on the way, swung on and popped up to the right side. Don't think that's going to stay in play. It will not. Just past the bleachers. There are a million little leaguers here. Why are they not all running after the ball? It's a Pavlovian response. You're a little leaguer, chase the baseball. I know there's no free red rope involved, and that might play a small part in this. 2-2 pitch on the way. Runner goes, fouled off. Gonna have to go back. 80-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, 2-2 the count. It's nice that people keep jumping around the center field camera area. It's like we need to hire a security guard just for that. Line in the 2-2 pitch on the way, swung onto the bounce towards the left side. Nice stop by Danny Womack. No play available though. Garza comes in to score. Raven Nushita moves down to second base, give an RBI single for Dalton Mayshore. No, y'all are right. The Bat Boys got great energy tonight. They have all season, honestly. I had in my notes here somewhere, we had James and William as our ball boys, Bat Boys this year, at least earlier in the season. Nushita at second, Mayshore at first, Cooper Witten at the plate. One out here as play continues, bottom three. Look back to second base, pitch on the way, swung on, and that one popped up towards center field, going back on the ball. Matthew Matheny, he's on the warning track at the wall, hits the back of the wall. Rounding third and on his way home, Draven Nushita. Dalton Mayshore wheels into third base, RBI double, Cooper Witten. Raise those chairs or couches if that's your thing. Mayshore now stands on at third base. Cooper Witten on at second. Armando Briseño due up, and a mound visit for the GreyWolves. Michael Miller coming in and joining the conversation, obviously. Clint Baxter letting us know that one mound visit has been taken by Gresham. Coach Stanton back to the dugout. Jaden Junta had also come in from first base for the conversation. Armando Briseño to the plate. All right, so James is the bat boy this evening. Good to know. Much appreciated, Paul. First pitch of this at bat, over for a strike at 79. Back to the four-seam fastball, 0-1. Yeah, y'all's arms are getting quite a workout at home, no lie. Simon comes set. Brings in the 0-1 pitch, which is fouled off toward the parking lot. Count goes to 0-2 on Briseño. Briseño led off the second inning with a single. Taps home plate as he steps back in. Spencer comes set. 0-2 pitch on the way. Swung on the bounce towards the left side once again. Danny Womack with it, looks at going home first, instead goes over to first. 6-3 the put out. Not a fielder's choice, excuse me. Dalton Mayshore comes in on the play. Cooper Witten unable to advance to third on that. But another run does come in to score. Four on the board for your Pickles so far. Pitch on the way, over for a strike. 70-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch, a slider to be exact, 0-1. Paul told me that it was James that was the bat boy this evening. I don't have any inside information here as the pitch is inside and plunks Elijah Henning. He gets aboard via the HBP, first one tonight.
number 31, Kevin Ferguson.
So heading on at first, Cooper Witten on at second, and that'll bring up first baseman Kevin Ferguson. Hit into a 6-3 fielder's choice. Way back in the second inning. Simon looks back at second, pitch on the way, runners go inside, out swing, that's gonna bloop right into right field. That gets down in front of Blaze Hare, coming around to score. Cooper Witten, Elijah Henning gets to third. Another run coming in for your Pickles. Y'all might as well just wait to rearrange your furniture until it's a Pickles game, and then you can just pick up your furniture when you're supposed to be raising the chairs to move it around your living room. Elijah Henning on now at third base. Ferguson with the RBI single. Cashel Duggar at the plate. First pitch he sees misses high. A run down to second. An attempt at a stolen base from Kevin Ferguson. It was really a double steal that was being attempted and did not work out well. Kevin Ferguson gunned down trying to steal second, and that will do it for your Pickles here in the third inning. But they do plate 5 runs on 4 base hits, and they leave 1 on. We're through 3 frames here at Walker Stadium. Your score, Portland 5, Gresham nothing.
Now located in the newly renovated
Tired of beer that's just too bland? Not a problem anymore! Introducing the amazing Voodoo Ranger IPA. It's bright, hoppy, and comes in a variety of options. Plus, you can take it almost anywhere. Stop drinking boring beer. Instead, join the many others living dangerously today. But wait, there's more. Call 833-V-RANGER. That's 833-V-RANGER to get free rangerousness. Live rangerously today. Call now.
All righty, baseball friends, welcome back. So, some defensive changes. Luke Bard taking over behind the dish for your Portland Pickles. Jack Eichler taking over for Zage Lancaster, who had taken over for Kyler Stancato, now in center field. On the mound, number 35, Cade Reitzenstein, taking over for Kyler Stancato, who was playing center field at one point. Kyler Stancato goes an inning, does not give up a hit or a run, does not walk a batter, and strikes out 1. Sound is really breaking up tonight, even the commercials. All right, I will let everybody know. Thank you. Looks like Jaden Junta, Michael Miller, and Kellen Krebs due up for the GreyWolves here in the top of the 4th inning. Snoopy Doopy checking in. Hello. First pitch fouled straight back. 0-1, 86 mile an hour 4-seam fastball. Does appear as though the lights are starting to take effect here at the Walk. Just a weirdly overcast evening. Line and the 0-1 pitch from Reitzenstein is parking lot bound. Is my audio choppy, or is it the audio from the field, Mike, that's choppy? 0-2 pitch on the way, swung on, and that one is sharply hit into left field. Draven Nushida gets the ball back into the infield. Jaden Junta aboard with a single. Third time the GreyWolves have had the leadoff runner aboard. Michael Miller to the plate. Throw over to first, and Junta back safely. Junta gets a half-step lead over at first. The first pitch coming in at 84 miles an hour, four-seam fastball, 0-1. Reitzenstein, another throw over to first base. Junta back standing. All right. My guess is the wind is having something to do with the field, Mike. 0-1 pitch on the way. Swung on and popped up. Deep infield, shallow outfield. Going back on the ball, Armando Briseño. So we're going to call that a P4 for Michael Miller. 1 on, 1 away, and that brings up Kellen Krebs, the second baseman. R.H. Signs checking in. Game was great last night. Didn't care for the outcome, but the baseball was good. First pitch missing away, ball 1. 86 mile an hour on the gun for Cade Reitzenstein. Cade is imposing out there on the mound. Now brings in the 1-0 pitch, which misses high at 86, four-seam fastball. Yeah, that bare hand catch was sick. If you are checking out our social medias, we posted another camera angle of that from the center field cam. 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Nice movement on that four-seam fastball. This one at 86, count goes to 2-0. I have yet to see said footage myself, but rumors were swirling that it had been posted as I was getting ready for tonight's game at the stadium. Do remember you should be following the Portland Pickles on all of the socials. Look for @PicklesBaseball on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. That pitch taken foul down the left field line, 2-2. Our social media team is amazing, and they are not only great during the baseball season, they are great during the off season as well. Well worth your time to track them down. 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on, and that one cracked out to right field. Going back on the ball is Cooper Witten, able to make the catch. Holds on to it, doesn't rush the throw in. Jaden Junta able to get back safely. Kellen Krebs, F9. Mo just looked up the camera angle from the center field thing and handed it over to me. This is delightful. Thank you, friend. Oh, my. That's so good. Holy cow, that's good. Yeah, no, go check out the, that's even better. No, go find that on the socials, friends. First pitch to Elijah Maeda, missing outside at 86, 1-0. Yeah, that's worth tracking down, absolutely. Reitzenstein comes set. 1-0 pitch on the way. Nice stop by Luke Bard behind the dish now. That one a cutter at 79. Cade has his sign, looks over at first, then comes set. 2-0 pitch on the way, missing away, ball 3. That one coming in at 86. That one a two-seam. So the count 3-0 on Elijah Maeda. Dylan Martin on deck. Pitch on the way, over for a strike at 86, 3-1. Junta, who led off the inning with a single, still over at first base. 3-1 pitch, swung on and popped up to the left side. Draven Nushida drifts over towards the foul line, is able to make the catch. F7 the put out on Maeda, and that does it for the GreyWolves here in the fourth inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on. I feel like we've got something going on in the middle of the fourth, and we do. It's the Truffle Shuffle contest. We are right here. Are you kidding me? We are doing a Truffle Shuffle contest. I love this so much. I'm just going to kick it down to Jeremiah.
Mark, Jimmy, over here, guys. Over here, boys. Over here, boys. Over here, boys. All right, it's going to be my crowd applause. We're going to start. All right, right here, not too far. Mark, You're going to go first. Bring it in a little bit. Bring it in a little bit. Give me some. You're going to go first. Yeah, get him the Truffle Shuffle tunes going. Count them down. Count them down. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah! That's pretty good. Jimmy! Oh, he's taking a half. Taking a shirt off. Oh, he's got a half shirt on. From the maniac side. Hey-o. All right. That's pretty good. Nate, you're up. All right, who are we giving it to? Mark? Jimmy! All right, Jimmy's the winner! Go, Jimmy, let's go! It was a DVD copy of the Goonies. I hope you have a DVD player. And a new shirt to put on. What can you do, brother? When the largest Truffle Shuffle in the world runs wild on you. Where's all the Truffle Maniacs at?
Now pitching for the GreyWolves, number 11.
Very good.
Carson.
Truck, very good.
Leading off the inning for the Picks, number 30.
Well, that was silly fun. What is the Truffle Shuffle? I am scarred for life. First pitch from Carson Kruckman, missing high and away, ball 1. Kruckman taking over for Spencer Simon, who goes 3 innings, gives up 6 hits, 5 runs, all of those earned, walked 3, hit a batter, and struck out 1. Pitch hit towards shortstop. Danny Womack, the throw over to first base in time. 6-3 the put out on Cashel. 1 away for the Pickles here, bottom of the 4th inning.
Now batting for the Picks, number 33, Luke Bard.
Designated hitter Luke Bard to the plate. Was your, catcher now, Luke Bard. He was your starting designated hitter. Traded places with Duggar last inning. One-0 pitch on the way in the dirt. Ball 2. Bard walked his last time up, came in to score the Pickles' first run of the ball game. Way back in the 3rd inning. Kruckman comes set. His 2-0 pitch on the way, swung on and hit into center field. Matthew Matheny ranging over, but it's actually going to be Blaze Air making the catch. Go ahead and call that L9.
Let's hear for Ian the Bat Boy, everybody. Look at Ian up there.
Way to go, Ian. Now come back for your Pickles, number 5, Alejandro Garza.
So what I'm picking up from all y'all in the chat is that we should make the Truffle Shuffle contest something that happens every Friday night here at Walker Stadium. Picking you up loud and clear on that. Alejandro Garza up for the 2nd time tonight. First pitch he sees over for a strike at 78, a slider, 0-1. Garza with a single and came around to score last inning. Offers at that pitch and comes up empty, 0-2. Nice speed change there. That one an 87-mile four-seam fastball. Debbie, I think you do protest too much, friend. 0-2 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back. Count stays 0-2. No, we are definitely not making that part of the game time experience going forward. I'm thinking that's probably a one-shot only deal. Oh, 2 pitch on the way. Wow, was that off the helmet? Or did that hit the bat? Absolutely zero clarification. The count is 1-2. Alrighty then. Count is 1-2, which I guess means it could have hit him and then the bat. Swung on and hit down the first base line, but foul. Count stays at 1-2. So is that how we got a ball out of that, Gary, that it hit him and then the bat? Oh, well, I wonder what that noise was then. All right, 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and popped foul. Count stays, count stays 1-2. We have a group of little leaguers chanting something below us, and I have no clue what that is. Kruckman shakes off Miller a couple times, now has his sign. 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on and hit towards second. Being played on a bounce by Krebs over to Junta. 4-3 the put out on Garza, and that will do it for your Pickles here in the fourth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on through 4 innings here at Walker Stadium. Your score, Portland 5, Gresham nothing. All righty, broadcast friends. Big surprise. New pitcher on the mound for your Portland Pickles. That is number 29, Max Fraser. Taking over for Cade Reitzenstein, who went an inning, gave up a hit, no runs, did not walk a batter, did not strike anyone out. Max on to face Dylan Martin, Chico Huntington, and Danny Womack. Dylan versus, is it Dylan versus Fan Race in the middle of the fifth? No, Dizzy Bat middle fifth, Dylan versus Fan Race middle six. We'll be keeping the broadcast here for both of those because shenanigans are fun. Third baseman Dylan Martin to the dish. He was a strikeout victim of Sam Rice back in the second inning. First pitch from Fraser, swung on and missed. 88-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, 0-1. You know, when you're only throwing 1 inning, you can throw a lot of fastballs, and the Pickles pitchers are taking advantage of that fact. Wind and the 0-1 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. 89-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Felt like there was a little more gas on that. 0-2. Jeremiah Coughlin being followed around. He is the piper of little leaguers down there, and I'm not exactly sure why. Wind and the 0-2 pitch on the way. Misses high. Ball one. Four-seam fastball at 89. Count 1-2. Chico Huntington on deck. Fraser into his motion, 1-2 pitch on the way, misses high, ball 2, 2-2. Max playing in the high 80s, low 90s. Well, I was going to say it was kind of a Pavlovian response for them to chase the foul ball. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Got him. Swung through an 88-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Max Fraser striking out the first batter he faces this evening for his first strikeout. That is number 6 for Portland Pickles pitchers overall. Chico Huntington, extra hitter to the plate. First pitch he sees on the inside part of the plate at 89. Four-seam fastball, as you might have guessed, 0-1. Swings through the next pitch from Max. Another 88-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, 0-2. Chico quickly in the hole. He was the second strikeout victim of Sam Rice back in the second. 0-2 pitch on the way. Got him looking, strike 3. Down on strikes. Another 88-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Max Fraser. Shortstop Danny Womack now stands in. Danny 0 for 1. First pitch he sees hits hard out into center field. Jack Eichler, who is the Pickles' current center fielder, drifts over towards right and makes the catch. P8 retires Danny Womack, and that will do it for Gresham in the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. All right, fans, it's time for Dizzy Bat.
All right, Pickles fans, direct your attention to the field for our Dizzy Bat competition presented by Ruby Jewel Ice Cream Sandwiches. Jeremiah, let us know what's going on down there.
Oh yeah, we got a whole host of folks. It's gonna get well down here.
I'm sure there's probably a legal reason that we don't let the little leaguers do this, but it's not like they're chasing down a shot that Dylan's holding. It's a Ruby Jewel ice cream sandwich. Like, we should have the little leaguers doing this. Oh, that's even better. Gary's like, by proxy, it should go to a little leaguer. Yes. I mean, far be it for me to speak ill of any fan, because I don't need another ice cream sandwich either, but who's going to cheat? I like that that's Debbie's new fun game for the... Well, Debbie, you got a quick answer right there.
That's the first time that's ever happened. Leave it to Goonies nights. I don't know if they're... Should we just go? I don't know. They're out of control already.
This is going very poorly.
9, 10, go! There they go!
Yeah, I don't know that the guy in the maroon shirt had the bat down at any point in time during that. Holy cow! Mags is joining us. Sweet. Mags, here's your headset, friend. We're gonna make sure you got enough room on the cord there. All right, excellent. We're gonna make sure that that the fine folks at home can hear you. Can you hear me in your friend?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
All right, great. Friends, we got Coach Mags joining us on the broadcast here. We are moving into the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch up and in. 1-0. Help if I had the right side of the book here. So that's not Zage Lancaster anymore. That is number 3, Jack Eichler at the dish. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Doing all right. I did let the fan to give us some questions, and I didn't write them down, and I forget how quickly the chat moves. So let's start with this. You and I got a chance to talk the other day, and you said, you know, we've got a fast team this year, and it seemed like it. We got a number of stolen bases already. How you feeling about that for a strength this year?
Well, the team is built with speed and athleticism, and it makes that offense multi-dimensional. We can beat you with a small game, the short game, and we can beat you by hitting, right? If you look at the WCL stats, we're top 1 in almost every category. Maybe 3 in runs scored or something like that, but actually we lead in runs scored. But we're doing a good job offensively.
Right.
Putting a lot of pressure on people. So it's and we have more walks and strikeouts, I believe, at this point too, which is an incredible stat. It's something we've been working on since day one. It's just important to put the ball in play and make people make plays, especially with our speed.
Well, and you've got some great pitchers this year, and we keep seeing more and more come in.
Right. We the strength's always going to be on the mound. Right now we're in the middle of the pack as a team, pitch-wise, and right now I think just we're walking too many guys. I mean, they're not hitting us. Whenever they score, it's because we put them on base, and if we just attack the strike zone the way we play defense and run around, we're going to be just fine. I mean, it's early in the year, and we're playing pretty well right now.
Well, and it seems like with this part of the year, runner goes, throw down to second base, not in time. Jack Eichler with a stolen base. Pickles with another runner in scoring position here in the top of the 5th inning. And it seems like you're getting new kids in every day. How many more do we still have coming? Do you know?
We are here now. We're missing one arm, Ian Umplot from University of Oregon.
So was here last year.
We're excited about getting him back. Excellent. And once we get him here, we got Cloyd today. He can't play until tomorrow because of finals at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. But that adds us another big bat in the middle of the lineup to go along with Mayshore and the guys that are here already. So it's adding some strength. I mean, I don't know when we'll fully be playing the way I think we're going to be capable of playing, but it's coming.
Well, started out good, went on a 4-game winning streak there, and then stumbled a little bit against Ridgefield. Really annoying that they seem to have our number at this stadium right now.
I just don't know that it's a stumble. I just think you're going to get beat in baseball. What people forget is that's a nice stroke right there.
Heck yes, into left center field and down. Bobbled at the wall, coming all the way around to score. Jack Eichler checking into second with an RBI double. Draven Nushida. That's true. It's a little early to call it stumbling. You're still working through figuring out what you got down there.
Right, we've given away a couple of games. The big thing about it is we haven't had a break yet, right? This is we went on that road trip. We played exhibition games, and we got stuck in Canada for a day. So in reality, we've had a travel day that was 11 hours long, got home and had to play. So we've not had a day off since exhibition, and that's a tough thing to do for young guys that are used to playing only on the weekends or one time midweek.
Well, and it doesn't get any easier coming up. We got a 3-game set this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then you guys take off for Cowlitz County for 3 up there.
Right, and so in other words, it's just a grind for us, and so we have the numbers that we can rest people. We're athletic enough that we can make things happen with the people we have that are coming in off the bench. And just guys are going to have to fight for some playing time. You got to put up numbers to stay in the lineup. It could be quite honestly one of the most talented athletic teams we've had in my 8 years here with the Pickles. But that doesn't mean anything because you still got to play.
Right, the team's got to gel together, and you still need to string along hits as they did back in the 3rd inning tonight. Played at 5 runs. That seems to be another strength of the team. When they get rolling, you can chew through. You can turn over the lineup in a single inning.
Yeah, we are explosive. There's no question about that, especially if we get that lead-on guy on. And that's those that we're not. Last couple of nights, we didn't get a leadoff man on. They did a good job of controlling our leadoff guy. Once we get a guy on, they got to worry about a bunt. They got to worry about hit and run. And all of a sudden you start getting fast and hitters counts. And the next thing you know, you're up a crooked number, right? So it's exciting to watch.
Well, and the team's been good at drawing their walks as well. And free bases are great to have.
Right, they're really nice. I mean, they battle with 2 strikes. I mean, I don't know what our average is with 2 strikes, but we've put up an incredible amount of 2-strike knocks, which is good for them because they're learning how to get deep into counts. We try to get the starting pitcher at or around 50 to 60 pitches by the 5th inning.
Okay.
We want to get into that bullpen on day 1 and force those guys to push their hands, especially when everybody starts grinding in it, come July.
Have you gotten to see enough from everybody? Ooh, ouch, off the top of the helmet. Cooper Witten getting plunked. He's going to be aboard with the HBP. What do we have for a speed on that, Nick? 76, so at least he didn't get hit with a 4-seam fastball in the mid-80s. Still doesn't feel good.
He's a real talented player out of UW. He's a 5-tool top guy. He can really run. He can really defend. It's juice. So we like him a lot.
Yeah. Is there anybody that surprised you early on so far?
Actually, the big surprise this summer, maybe so far, has been Nick Mark Antonantos, right?
fan favorite.
Yeah, you know, Nicky played for me at Clark, and then COVID hit, and he ended up going to, you know, mid-level D1 school, St. Peter's. And he just sort of got lost in the shuffle. He graduated, and he's going. He's in the portal now. Looks like he's got a bunch of D1 schools on him because of what he's done with the Pickles.
Nice.
But he's athletic. He plays the game hard, and he's been doing a great job for us. Hard to get him out of lineup. He was on a 10-day contract, which everybody thinks is great. It is for us, right, that he's playing so well. But it creates a log jam in the outfield. I had scheduled to have 4 outfielders here. Now I have 5, and I got to figure out how to play them all. So it's a good problem to have,
right? But
it's also a tough problem if you're sitting in the manager's seat. So.
Yeah. Well, you had to make some tough decisions last year as well, and from what we've seen of this year's lineup, those decisions haven't gotten any easier for you.
No, we are starting to get some really good players from all over the country. For a lot of reasons. One, first and foremost, we play in front of the greatest fans in the West Coast, maybe of all summer Division I baseball. We're playing in front of them every night. It's a great environment. 2, we try to run this thing the right way, where we were playing baseball the right way, we're teaching them to play the right way. I think the big concern for us right now is we got some really talented players. And good take. Anyway, a lot of the guys, though, and this is no knock to them or no knock to the programs, are coming from programs that didn't win a lot this year.
Okay.
So that's the big challenge, is teaching them how to win and expecting to win and not expecting to lose.
Because that is a very different mindset.
It's a very mindset. So we don't have the guys that are coming for the big winter schools.
Smacked out into right field. Blaze Hare able to make the catch, gets the ball back into the infield. Runners have to hold.
So that's something that you think it's easy, but it's not. When you're accustomed to getting beat, and you probably get beat in late innings because that's just the way your season went, you don't know how to win. Winning and losing are learned behaviors, right? If you know how to win, it's a lot easier. You expect to win. If you're learning how to win, and that's what we're doing right now, we're learning how to win.
Okay, well, and that is a group effort.
That is, and that's just staying positive.
Shot into left center field, and that's going to get down for base hit.
Watch Witten run. 6'5" and like they dare, and we take the extra base.
Now runners on at second, third. Pickles with another run in here in the 5th inning. Numbers just running up on that scoreboard, you know.
You know, and a lot of guys are playing tonight that don't get usually to play, so there's time to get their feet wet, right, because they just got here, so we want them to get involved as quickly as possible.
Well, and one of those players, Alejandro Garza, just showed up yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah, he showed up yesterday from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. They're real high on him.
Yeah.
And we're going to watch him play a little bit. He's going to learn how we do things and learn how to grind during the day, because high school players don't know how to grind.
Okay.
You know, they just sort of go out there an hour before game time and go. We're here all day. You see us.
Right.
We're here early in the park at 2:45 for a 7:05 game, so it is a grind.
Yeah, it is. And like you said, the beginning of the season has been relentless for y'all.
Right, it's a tough go. Yeah.
Right, tough sledding here in the first half. Now, I haven't looked far enough ahead. Does the second half schedule treat you any better, or is it just as packed? I mean, you're not going up to Canada in the second half.
We look at 3 games at a time, man.
Okay, that's fair. So you haven't done that either. All right.
Yeah, I leave that to Nostradamus and those guys. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
So last night, you know, we were auctioning off those Soccer City USA jerseys, and fans were asking, what is your number?
I wear number 27. Yeah,
27?
27 for a very specific reason.
Okay.
Most of my career I've worn number 7. 3 years ago approximately, one of my players, Grant Fisher, was killed here in Portland on his way to work during COVID and by an impaired driver. He wore number 27.
Okay.
So I asked, we retired his number at Clark. I asked his parents if I could wear it till I retired, and they graciously said I could. So I switched my number to 27. He was a great player, a great teammate, a very good student. He leaves behind a wife and a baby girl, and it's a sad story, but I see him every day and I talk to him every day, and it's a pretty unique story. I'll share it with you. I don't share it very often, but I'm going to share it with Pickle Nation. Every morning, Monday through Friday, except when we're traveling to Canada because I'm on a bus,
right.
I do 127 push-ups because there's only one number 27 in my life. So out of a tribute to him, I do those, and I do them in sets or whatever because I'm an old man, but I say good morning to him every day, and he's with me every day, and I talk to him every day.
Right on, Coach.
Yeah, pretty good
that.
stuff.
That
man.
is It's a great number, a great reason for having that number then.
Yeah, so that's my number now, and sometime in the near future, I'll retire that when I retire. So.
Yeah, right on. Let's see. Ask about the player with the dislocated shoulder. Is he okay, and is he coming?
Shuni, we call him Shuni, Shinsuke. He actually dislocated his elbow in the first inning in Kamloops, and we had to get him to the hospital immediately in an ambulance. And the Canadians did a great job of taking care of him. Hats off to them. I'd like to thank Kamloops and the way they took care of us and the way they took care of our player. They treated us in a first-class manner, and it'll be reciprocated here in Portland because it was just a class act.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah,
you know, because at the end of the day, you know, these are kids, these are human beings, and as much as we want to win the games,
and that was a huge loss. I mean, that guy would have been one of the better players in the WCL. He would have hit in the leadoff spot, and he just made a lot of things happen. And if you're watching these games closely, I'm still hunting for that prototypical leadoff guy.
Leadoff hitter.
And it may not be the prototypical guy. It may be a pass sitting in that leadoff spot, just because we can run. So.
My chance there, nope, decided not to. Ball gets past the catcher, Michael Miller. Runner still on at second and third. 2 down here as we continue to play in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sorry, just checking the scorebook here. Cashel Duggar at the plate.
UCLA freshman, John Savage, says is going to be a good one. We've had a tradition of having catchers from UCLA that have been really productive. Noah Cardenas actually was here as a freshman, incoming freshman like Duger, and drafted and playing for the Twins now, I believe. So we've had a lot of good players come from UCLA as freshmen. Mikey Perez, who's now with the Twins as well.
Right on.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of guys come through Portland that have been drafted in our 8 years here.
How do you keep those pipelines open? Like, because, I mean, you've got players from all over. The folks at home have heard us read off the lineups and where all the colleges the kids are from and whatnot.
I'd like to tell you it's easy, but, you know, as soon as we got eliminated from the playoffs last year, I took a week off. And then I started immediately making phone calls around the country. It's phone calls, it's friendships that I've had over my 40 seasons and 5 decades. Some of the up-and-coming really good coaches in the Division I and Division II levels are guys that were starting out when I was middle-aged. So
okay.
They reciprocate our friendship and send us really good players. They know what I'm looking for, and we usually get them for sure.
That's amazing. I love seeing the groups of players that come, you know, because they have experience with each other's teammates playing in the college level.
Right. So I would say roughly starting in September, I'm working all the way through even to now of getting players, making sure we have a pipeline of players in case somebody goes down, God forbid, like Shun. That's what we do. I mean, it's constant. I mean, it's not 20 hours, it's not 30 hours, it's hundreds of hours.
So you don't get an off season.
I have a responsibility to the Portland Pickles to bring in the best players we can possibly find that are going to be A, really good players, B, really good people. And I think that's the one thing you'll see with our Pickles is that they're polite, they don't pop off during games. And I'm pretty proud of what we've done here in the last 8 years with Coach Hopple, Coach Jordan and Justin Barkas. Justin Barkas obviously is my friend and was the manager before me. So, yeah, we've done a good job of bringing the right kind of guys, and that's important to us.
Well, you've got a great coaching staff. I enjoy getting to come down and talk with you guys before the games. I know that we've switched innings. Let you get back to the dugout, but I do have one more question for you. You got time?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, sweet. Then let's have this conversation. You know, more and more we see the West Coast League compared to the Cape Cod League.
Right.
If we were to send this squad out there and, you know, play a top 3 team in one of the divisions out there, how would you feel?
I'd feel very confident.
Yeah.
I think Corvallis would say the same thing. I think Ridgefield would say the same thing. I think there's a lot of teams in the West Coast League that would say the same thing. I think you can say the same for North Woods League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're very good.
I've gotten to watch some of the North Woods League's games on ESPN before our season started, and yeah, I mean, I hadn't seen our team yet, but last year's team, I was like, those kids would have totally been competitive.
We'll compete. I mean, the West Coast League is a tough league. I mean, you got some really good clubs, really good organizations, really good managers and coaching staffs, and you're not going into any series in the West Coast League where you can say you're going to win the series. Everything's tough.
Right.
I mean, this is so far, just looking at the standings, this is going to be a dog fight to the very end.
Yes, and it's probably going to be Corvallis up there near the top once again. Looks like Springfield's off to a decent start.
Everybody's off to a decent spot. Yeah, Corvallis, though, they're the guys. I mean, Brooke does a great job there, and he's a class act. It's a great place to go play. And this is a great place to go play. So it's sort of fun. And we know every time we go into a city that we are hunted, right?
Right.
Because we are the Portland Pickles and all the media and the social media things that we do, and we're so popular around the country. You can't argue with how popular we are. So even in Kelowna and in Kamloops in Canada, we had Pickle fans in the stadium.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
They had a guy come up in between innings, and they wanted him to say "Go," whatever the name was, and he said 1, 2, 3, go Pickles in the stadium. So it's a constant deal for these guys.
It's amazing the reach that this organization has, and like, does that help you in recruiting? Like, do you reach some of these coaches and kids, and the kids are like, oh yeah, no, I've heard of y'all's organization.
Yeah, everybody knows who the Portland Pickles are, and that's one of the draws. The atmosphere second draw, but what we do on the field is the ultimate draw, because they bring players in here to get better. There's certain things when you're talking to a coach, he's going to go, I need this player to work on this, and it's our job to get him better at what they want him to work at, right?
Okay.
And then the fact that we don't run pitchers out for 80, 90 pitches at a time, we will lose a game in Portland as long as I'm the manager, because we won't run a pitcher out and put him in a position to get injured, even if he's dealing.
Not going to run him into the ground.
No, we're not going to run him into the ground.
I remember that. We had a game, it might have been last season, where we had a starter who'd gone 5 innings and hadn't given up a hit, and we were curious, and Gary had given us the pitch count, and he's like, I might get one more inning out of him, but Mags isn't going to keep him out there longer than that.
There's no way BG and I are going to let him go out there. I mean, we're going to put the player before the game here. We got to remember, every player out here isn't our player. This is Cal Poly's player. This is University of San Francisco. This is UCLA's player. Our job is to protect them at all costs and still allow them to play the game.
Do their coaches give you not restrictions necessarily, but like, hey, if you're going to pitch this guy, we'd like to see him not go more than maybe 5 innings in a start, or 2 starts in a week, or anything like that? Like, are you guys given guidelines, or?
Well, a couple of years ago, well, it happens every year, but I'll give you a great example.
Okay.
2 years ago, Josh Molaris, the great closer now for the University of Oregon, and probably going to get drafted, the University of San Francisco, where he was before, said, hey, he's got 20 innings. So we made him a closer, and we were able to use him the whole summer, and the next thing you know, he's now one of the premier closers in the country. So their restriction helped him with his career. So
that's amazing.
And even today, there's players here in this club and on this team that have restrictions or guidelines that we're going to follow very closely.
Okay.
And we won't make a mistake. We won't make a mistake playing in that gray area. We're gonna stop them short of the guidelines.
Err on the side of caution, and
yeah, we have a player coming in here tomorrow who's going to land. Itsumi's coming in from Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think I just said that wrong, so I apologize. But you got to give me a break on that one.
That's all right, Coach. We do it up here
he's
too.
coming in. He was a possible draft choice in Japan. Speaking to his agents and advisors, rather. He's scheduled to go big, and he's a two-way guy. I mean, he's on the mound. He's 6'3". He can hit. He can obviously pitch. He's going to get a start here on Tuesday night on Cowlitz, so that'll be good for him.
That'll be fun.
He's not. And the crowd won't affect him because he's used to playing in front of tens of thousands of people in Japan. So it'll be pretty cool for him, and then for us.
I was going to say it's going to be amazing for the home crowd here when he gets his first start at Walker Stadium. That's going to be fun.
He was scheduled to go in the Japanese draft, and he decided to come to the States and bypass that and play college baseball at the University of Hawaii. And my friend, the head coach of the University of Hawaii, Rich Hill, said, hey, I got a guy. And I said, I'll take him, man. So we're pretty excited. I can't wait to see him.
Awesome. Well, I mean, we've gotten to see Kyler Stancato, who plays center and gets up on the mound on occasion. It was good to see him up there today.
That's a talented athlete. I mean, he's not going yet, but when he gets going, he puts a lot of pressure on the team too. So
yeah.
May Shore's another guy that was a big-time guy for us last year, coming off a major injury. But once he gets going and sees some live pitching, he'll be good too.
Now, are there plans to keep Stancato pitching on occasion throughout the summer, or
there's a chance Stan, you might get drafted as a pitcher late or signed. He's got good stuff from the left side. I mean, he's pretty firm.
It's fun watching him pitch.
Yeah, he attacks the strike zone. He's got a nice breaking pitch. You saw his athleticism on the mound. I mean, he's a pretty good athlete.
Well, speaking of athleticism on the mound, that was a heck of a barehanded grab last night. Holy cow!
Yeah, that was a nice play.
That was okay. So and that was unbelievably impressive in the moment. But then in the next inning, on a broken play, has the baseball IQ to go cover third base and tag out the runner in the face to end the inning. Like, two great plays in 2 innings. Was a lot of fun to watch last night.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the way they play the game. They know how to play. They're backing up places. The left fielder was backing up. The third baseman broke, and he broke with him. It's sort of, you want to have like strings attached to each other, right? If one guy moves, he pulls you into the direction you're supposed to be in. So it's IQ, baseball IQ, and it was a high baseball IQ last night for sure.
Right, Murphy Ganger's going to be fun to watch. Where are we at now here? We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pickles with a 7-0 lead. Sorry, friends, since this is a tune-up game and I don't get mags up here often, the game a little bit secondary in the moment, but you are getting to watch the video there. 3-2 pitch popped up into the outfield. Matheny drifting over, able to make the catch. P8 the put out, 1 away. I have totally lost. I love getting to talk to you on the microphone or not.
I used to come up here after every game, and we did that show Ice Bag with Mag, so this is like old home for me right now.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you up here. I'd like to do this more this season if you're down for it.
I'll do it in exhibition games. I'm sort of busy every other time. Yeah, but yeah, I'd be more than happy to come up here.
Well, and maybe we can. Nope, just inside, turned away from it. That is the aforementioned Alejandro Garza back at the plate. Can't tell.
We're not getting any questions in here, man. I thought I was going to get hit with a bunch of questions. I keep waiting for my wife to say something.
Let's see. Well, we actually did talk about Garza. Oh, yes, that was right. They wanted Mad Mags T-shirts done, like Mad Max style.
Yeah.
That's right. That came up in the chat a couple nights ago, and I thought that was a brilliant idea. I remember the free mag shirts that they did a few seasons ago.
Yeah, those were the Pickles were gracious with that. They took the proceeds of that along with, and they gave it to Grant Fisher's wife to help with their new home for the baby and for them. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, the Pickles are a class organization, and they do things that people don't know about, right? You don't broadcast your good moves or the things you do well. You let other people not know about them, and that's just the way this organization is. I mean, I know it's high profile, and we do a lot of things on social media that may rankle some people now and then, but ultimately the people that run this organization from the top to the bottom are good people, good-hearted people, and respectful people, and it's a great place to work.
I absolutely second that. I tell everybody that I feel like this organization is run by people who want to have fun for a living, and they want to take as many people along with them as possible, and I'm glad to be here for the ride.
Well, we love having you here, man. I tell you what, you're doing a heck of a job. You're following a great one with Judah Newby, and you're right behind on his tail, so we got 2 good broadcasters here in a row. I mean, it's like you're getting Vin Scully and Jerry Doggett, you know?
Appreciate it. I something I've always wanted to do, and I hope that comes through in the broadcast. This whole experience has been a blast, Coach.
It's fun. Let's just hope we can bring some more fun this summer.
That's right. You know what was fun last year was getting called playoff game. That one hit sharply to the left, but foul. Yeah, it was fun getting to host a playoff game here last year. It was fun getting to call a playoff game. Hoping we get to bring back that opportunity for fans this season.
Hey, playing in those kind of games is fun and it's rewarding because it's not the easiest thing to do. You know, people are always saying, hey, let's go. We're going to the playoffs. Well, that's everybody in the West Coast League and around the country want to be in the playoffs, and there's some really good players here, and you just got to fight every night, and just hopefully the ball bounces your way, right?
That's right.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
That is very true. Looks like we got a mound visit. Gary says we got a pitching change coming up.
We'll trust Gary.
Yep. Gary's the captain up here. We joked if we ever did a Pickles hockey uniform, we'd give him the one with the C on it.
He does a great job. He does a fantastic job.
The organization puts the right people in the right places.
They got it going on, man. They got it going on.
All right, let's see. Do we have anything else in here? Everybody's talking to themselves. This is kind of what happens during a non-league game.
Well, I appreciate you having me up here. It's fun to be up here, and I'm excited to be here.
Well, we are always happy to have you up here. Maybe we'll talk about doing the post-game show, see if we can get that back going again.
Or a pre-game show.
If you're scheduled to work into it, that'd probably be easier to do.
A pregame show would be a lot easier for me. You could do it right in the dugout. I mean, I'm down for an hour after batting practice, right?
Okay.
Yep. So that's usually when I just sort of sit back and relax and watch the other team's BP. But yeah, we could do that.
Sweet. Well, the thing is, we've got enough camera people this year.
Yeah. So yeah, we could pull that off. I'd be more than happy to do that.
Well, and if we didn't have enough camera people, we'd just tell Ross to bring the drone out and have that hover in front of us while we were having the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just another one of those weird things the organization does. Why are there fewer home runs this year? That's true. We've only seen a few so far this year.
Well, that's a great question. I'm going to tell you, this park, Walker Stadium, the dimensions are small. But if you've noticed, nobody hits home runs here.
Right.
It is the hardest place to score runs in the West Coast League for several reasons. The ball doesn't carry. It plays more like it's 330 down the line rather than 310.
Okay.
The gaps in center field play like a traditional park, 380, 400. Whatever happens up there in the trees or the air, even in BP, when the players come in, they go, oh, we're going to hit this thing out. And we give them one day. And then they realize that this place, the ball doesn't go. And so what we try to do in batting practice is play with center field and and not try to pull any baseballs, because you can get happy here. And then happy turns into you pulling off baseballs. And if you watch teams come in here the first night, couple of nights, if they never played here before, and they start just launching balls, and then we know as soon as the night goes out, ball's not going to carry. That makes it difficult for a ball to carry. And what else makes it hard to score is that the gaps aren't very big. So a double that might be able to score a runner from first in a different park, real difficult to score them in this park. So you have to have pre-pitch reads with the outfield, see where they're at. You've got to know who can run. You got to know arms. You got to know your runners. The reason we can do it this year is because we are so quick. But it is a very difficult place to score, which is why you see us play small here, and on the road in Kelowna and in Kamloops, we drove balls all over the place, like you wouldn't imagine, because the balls were carrying, right? I think we hit all our home runs on the road, I think.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a different look for sure.
Well, I have noticed that there are times where the sound coming off the bat, you'd think that's gone, but it gets up there in that air out in right center field, and that seems to be where baseballs go to die.
They die. I don't know what it is. Maybe we're
runner goes, throw down to second base, not in time.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's the air just doesn't want to give them up. I don't know. Cursed air, I guess. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
Gary told me that the winds swirl out there, and we don't notice it as much up here.
Look at the top of the trees.
Right.
Yeah, it gets knocked down here. It is a tough place to hit. It's a tough place to score.
Well, and then, like, even earlier tonight, as we've had the weather change consistently throughout the evening this evening, like, you got the flags blowing out in right field, then out in left field, it's totally dead over there.
It is very tough place to play. It's a real tough place to defend. The lights are down low. At least twice a year, you're going to see a right fielder lose a ball and going to cost you a game. So it's just a real tough place to go. I mean, Manzardo used to make this look small. You know, other guys have made this place look small, but you can get a cheap one down the lines. But you go into the gaps, you got to really slug it.
Winding the 2-2 pitch, hit down the first base line, foul ball. For a second, everybody was playing that like it was fair, as you are supposed to do, and it had me fooled. Count 2-2, 2 down here, bottom of the 6th inning. Pickles with a 7-0 lead. You are getting love in the chat, though. The fans do love you. They like when you come out and question a call.
You know, my job is to protect our players and to protect our organization. So when I have to come out, I come out. I try not to, but sometimes it happens.
Well, and as the coach, like you've said before, it's better you than them.
Yeah, they're not going. If anybody goes, I'll go.
Right. 2-2 pitch missing outside, ball 3, 3-2. Snoopy Doopy asking what the Truffle Shuffle is after the Truffle Shuffle contest
it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So if I don't have to see that again the rest of my life, I will be 100% satisfied that I don't get to see that again. I mean, it's going to be me going home and maybe I don't know. I'm going to have to get those thoughts out of my mind. That was Freddy Kruegerish.
Yeah, that is one of the sillier things this organization has done. Well, Coach, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mike. It's a pleasure being up here.
Success this
Absolutely.
season.
We'll give her our best, man.
And I'll go hang out behind the dugout up in Cowlitz County, and we'll hang out up there for a little while.
Yeah, that's right. So I didn't even know we were going to Cowlitz till you told me, so now I know. The only thing on my mind is Springfield and trying to get a couple of wins there and be ready to play. I mean, we got to get some new arms we haven't seen in and get ready to go. But once again, man, it's a privilege and honor to manage the Portland Pickles, and I'm excited about watching this team the rest of the year. And I always closed Ice Bags with Mags with this statement, because we either won or we lost, right? So I tell Jody, my wife, I'd say, if we lost, I'd say make sure there's a 6-pack in the refrigerator, and if we win, I'd say make sure that the Rocky Road was in the freezer. So. Right now, I just want to make sure that just in case, that I have something cold to drink when I get home, and that there's Rocky Road in the freezer. So I'll be home soon. Love you, Jody. Love you, Aunt Marla, who's staying with you, Marky and Jessica and Ryan. Love you guys. And you know what? I got 3 dogs, and if I don't talk to those guys, they're going to be mad. So Fred, and Marty, my grand dog, and Chico and Max and Poncho the cat. I got a farm and 5 chickens. So we got all kind of menagerie of animals there. So I can't wait to get home and see them for about an hour before I go to sleep. But Jody, I love you. I'll see you soon.
Well, Coach,
right.
Give the family my best,
You
and
bet.
always great to talk with you. Have fun tonight.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Thank you much. All right, fans. Portland 7, Gresham GreyWolves nothing. I'm going to take a moment and get something to drink real quick, and I will be back with the new Portland pitcher in just a moment.
So far, we found Jimmy Spring. We found his kid. We found, I think, some distant relatives have all been over to say hi, but no Jimmy yet. We're really worried about it.
Secondary, which is not, a statement on anything, just sort of the way it is. I love that he's willing to come up with it. All right, Gary, I'm going to have big holes in my store.
Jimmy Truffle Shuffle his way right out of the stadium tonight, everybody.
Dylan win the race. Dylan won.
Pacha, number Truffle Shuffle, Jimmy. Pacha. Him and Truffle Shuffle, Jimmy have ran all together.
That's about number 60.
Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze in the beer backpack coming around. Make some noise, beer backpack time, boys.
All righty, broadcast friends. Welcome back. Top of the 7th. That is Devin Patel out on the mound for your Portland Pickles. I'm going to guess that he took over for Josh Volderming. Volderming went an inning, did not give up a run. 10 pitches. Ooh, that one inside.
We found him, Walker Stadium.
feel like I've lost complete control of this tonight, and that's okay. Patel's 3-0 pitch. Over for a strike at 86. Four-seam fastball, 3-1. Gary, is this Jaden Junta? Yes. All right. 3-1 pitch to Junta, missing inside. Ball 4. Junta working a leadoff walk here in the top of the 7th inning. Beautiful sunset here. What about at Walker Stadium? There appears to be pink out on the horizon, but it's obscured by the trees. Very cloudy here in Portland this afternoon and early evening, so there's definitely color in the sky. We just can't see much of it from our vantage point. Sean Murphy, thank you. Sean Murphy at the plate. He's replacing Michael Miller. First pitch, the at-bat, missing 1-0. Where's Gigi? Oh, that's a good question, Ron. I don't know. 1-0 pitch on the way in. Just misses at 73. Slider 2-0. Wind in the 2-0 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Swung through an 86-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. 2-1 the count on Sean Murphy. I believe that's Kellen Krebs still on deck. If not, Gary will let me know. He realizes that I lost complete control of my scorebook tonight, so 2-2 the count. Patel stares in, has the sign from Luke Bard. 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed, got him, strike 3. Sean Murphy down on strikes, first strikeout for Devin Patel. How many does that make altogether? Is that number 11? I believe that's number 11. All right. Pickles pitcher's on fire tonight. Throw over to first base. Junta back safely. Definitely cooled off here at the stadium. Hasn't gotten cold. The humidity pretty much all dissipated. First pitch, the at-bat, over for a strike at 75. Nice looking slider, 0-1. Always great to have Coach Maggs join us. 0-1 pitch, over the inner part of the plate at 75. Back-to-back sliders, 0-2. It is good to hear Coach say that our outfield is where baseballs go to die, essentially. Pitch fouled off, 0-2 still the count. Because there haven't been a ton of home runs hit here at Walker Stadium. But you know, when they're gone, they got all of it. Patel comes set. 0-2 pitch on the way, high and outside, ball 1. 87-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Patel stares in, gets his sign, looks over at first and comes set. 1-2 on the way, swung on and fouled off at the plate. 1-2 still. Lights have fully taken effect here at the stadium. Sunset was just a couple minutes ago. Despite the 7-0 score, pretty much everybody's still hanging out here at the park. And why wouldn't you? 1-2 pitch on the way, inside, that hit him. So Junta going to move down to second base. Kellen Krebs aboard via the HBP. What was the speed on that? Got plunked at 74, not the worst.
Now for back to the GreyWolves, number 11,
Elijah Maeda to the plate. Comes up with runners on first and second. One down here, top of the 7th inning. Patel's first pitch of the at-bat floats in slightly high at 73. A slider just missing 1-0. Well, Tom, I'm not going to lie. I've been waiting for one as well. We will get one eventually. Might get a few of them. Like Mag said, though, they'll probably be down the lines if we get them. That pitch missing away, ball 2-0. Springfield Drifters in town for 3 starting tomorrow night. Going to start the broadcast up right around 7 o'clock. 2-0 pitch on the way. Over for a strike. Count goes to 2-1. Throw down to first. Diving back to the bag safely, Kellen Krebs. Yeah, Nicky Marcantinados, I believe, was the last Pickles home run we had here. Patel stares in. Gets the sign he's looking for. Looks back at second. Brings in the 2-1. Over for a strike at 86 miles an hour. Back to the four-seam fastball. Count evens up at 2-2. You know, Tom, if it happened every day, we wouldn't celebrate them near as much. So when we get another home run, we'll just celebrate accordingly. 2-2 pitch away. Swung on and missed. Got him. Second strikeout for Devin Patel. 2 down here in the top of the 7th inning. That's going to bring up third baseman Dylan Martin. Okay, just want to make sure it still was. When I say I checked out of the ball game to talk to Mags, I more or less completely checked out. My scorebook has holes in it. I only know how many strikeouts there were because Ron hangs the signs out in left field, for which I am thankful. First pitch missing away, ball 1. That one, a 75-mile-an-hour slider. It was preseason, that's right. Yeah, we can do it. Are you up for it? All right, sweet. 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Count evens up on Dylan Martin. Martin struck out in the 2nd, struck out in the 5th. Patel set at the belt, looks back at 2nd for a while. Now brings in the 1-1, brings in and inside. Another nice stop by Luke Bard. Matthew's going to come join me over here on the broadcast. Probably, God, you know. Listen here, Andrew, I don't need that guff. I need that from you. I like that Gary's in on this too. I'm getting made fun of. Oh, part of the outside part of the plate. Strike 3 called. Okay. So back-to-back strikeouts for Devin Patel, and that will do it for the GreyWolves here in the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on. Fans, it's time to stretch.
do.
All righty, baseball friends, welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning. We go. Your Pickles leading by a score of 7-0. And joining me on the broadcast, Matthew, how you doing, friend?
Doing well, how are you?
You're going to want that microphone a little closer to your face. See where mine is here?
Gotcha.
There you go.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Sounding good on the broadcast. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, your voice sounds great, friend. So, Matthew, you do a lot of things here.
I do.
One of the things that you do is you make me sound smarter than I am. I joke about that all the time, but it is true. Matthew tells me the speeds of the pitches and what the pitches are because you run TrackMan for us. Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about, first of all, what TrackMan is, essentially, and then maybe run them through, like, you've got to do some setup before the game to get ready, to get that system ready, so.
Yeah. So TrackMan is our data capturing system that we use. Prior in the MLB, around 2018, also MLB teams were using the TrackMan system. Basically, it's a camera and a radar, and it captures the movement of the ball as it approaches the plate, and it projects where the ball will be, its speed, and its location, and it also tracks the ball when it's hit as well.
Right, because Matthew also gives me the exit velo on the hits as well.
Yeah, so then part of our job is to tag the pitches and to make sure that the correct players are being accounted for the pitches or the correct batters. So that way, post-game, or like the next day when we pull the data, we can write reports that we can use for the coaches based off like pitching reports. We generate hitting reports. We also generate umpire reports.
Okay.
So that we can use to help give the Pickles a competitive advantage.
All right. And I heard I heard the umpires were asking for reports. So this is information that is, or some of the information is shared with them?
So whenever a game is played in the league, it doesn't matter in which stadium, all teams in the league have access to it. They're able to pull from it. So some of the umpires are aware that I have been creating umpire reports for the past 2 seasons now, and whenever they umpire a game for us, they would also like to see it because I generally only go to the coaches and the pitching staff, but some specifically will ask me for it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm working on the levels here. This is not about you at all, friend.
No worries.
So is this sort of like the umpire reports that you're writing? Are those sort of like the umpire scorecards that you see on, I think it is just umpire scorecard, the Twitter handle that does that for the MLB umpires?
Yeah, I do something similar. Mine's not as clean as the ones online, but
well, that's fair.
I generate the same kind of report. I tell which pitches are using code. I tell which pitches were correctly called and which ones were incorrectly called, and then they get assigned the percentage based off how correct they were, and they also get some wiggle room based off of borderline pitches, where a borderline pitch is something that hits what is considered the line of the zone,
right?
And which it's a pitch that could go either way generally. So
okay, so that's sort of the plus minus percentage. Okay. Tom Jones wanted to know how can you tell what a four-seamer is? Do you see the fingers on the ball? And that is more about the rotation on the ball between the pitcher and the plate. Is that not like how it's being identified?
Yeah, so it's based off what's known as both spin axis, but also being considered as tilt, depending on which metric you're using. It's basically just on what plane is the ball spinning on. So a four-seam fastball will generally spin on a 180 plane, giving that true backspin. That's also considered a 12 o'clock spin, where you're like spinning around from noon.
Okay, from noon to 6, essentially.
Exactly.
Okay.
And generally, four-seam fastballs don't have a lot of horizontal break like a two-seam fastball does.
Okay.
And so a two-seam fastball doesn't go. It's still closer to the 180, but it's like in between 90 and 180. So that's what creates the more true horizontal breaks that you'll see on pitches. So generally, nobody really throws a true 180 spin on a fastball, so they always have some kind of break. And the more based off how kind of grip you have, it will cause a different type of spin.
Okay, all right. And this is picked up with that camera in center field.
Yeah, with the camera, which is actually just right above the press box.
Okay.
Right behind home plate. It projects the ball, and it has both the camera and also the radar system that can detect the speed of the pitch and how many rotations it's taking. And then based off that, it calculates its spin rate.
We live in the future. I mean, this is... I know that this study has been going on a while and the development of this entire system, but to think that we've gotten to a point where this system can help you identify like the launch angle, the degree of break in the pitch. All of that is absolutely amazing. I know it's early on this season.
Oh.
Attempted play at first base. Ball gets by the first baseman. Coming in to score. Cooper Witten turned that HBP into a run. Friends, raise your furniture of choice. Pickles extend their lead to 8-0. Is there anything you've seen in the data that you've gone through so far, anything that stands out to you besides the exit velo of that hit that was snared barehanded by Murphy Geiger at 75.5 miles an hour last night?
The more time I've been spending at the data this year, I've been able to notice more tendencies of both pitchers, but also some kind of like tipping points that I didn't notice last year when I was doing this.
Okay.
Based off the data, I saw a certain pitcher was when he was throwing a fastball versus a slider, he would change his release point. And I also saw it from the press box point of view, but it was quite interesting looking at it from a data point of view. He generally threw a fastball from 6 feet 3 inches above the ground. And whenever he threw a slider, it was always 5 feet 7 inches or 5 feet 6 inches above the ground when he released the pitch, which is kind of a tipping sign.
So it's tracking that as well.
Yeah, it's
tracking the release point.
Exactly, from both the height and the side, and you can use that to calculate the angle.
Oh, wow. Okay, now that part, you and I have gotten to talk about this a little bit, and you have explained to me over the course of, the year and change that we've worked together, all of the stuff that you do. But I mean, I know that I only have a thumbnail of an idea of all of the information that you had over there. I didn't realize that that pitch slot and release point were being tracked as well. That, of course, you've got the technology. Why not?
We have a plethora of information that we can look at during a game, but there's so much of it, and there's such a small screen that I can't have it all up at the same time while I'm trying to tag pitches at the same time.
That's fair. That's fair.
So really the main things that I look at when I'm tagging a pitch are the release speed, the horizontal break, the vertical break, and the spin rate.
Okay.
Those are generally the main tells of which pitch it's going to be.
I was going to say, so that with that information, you can deduce chances are that pitch was this.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and it may not even be chances are. It's probably all of the data points to this.
Yeah, largely. Now, some players don't. Like, with our players, we do reports based off of what they say they throw rather than what the data necessarily throws. So one player might throw a slider that is more like a true curveball.
Okay.
But since he wants to classify it as a slider, because maybe how he's holding it or how he's trying to throw it, we tag it as such rather than what its correct classification is.
Okay, this is amazing. Like, I know I get to see some of the output on the screen that you're working on next to me, but I didn't even know that the system was that robust.
Yes.
So is TrackMan used throughout the entirety of the West Coast League?
Yeah, it's supposed to be mandated by the entire league that they have to have an operating TrackMan system.
Okay.
Now, are all teams successful in using it?
Okay, fair.
No, is the broad answer. Some teams might not have the staffing or capabilities to really run it. Like last season, we had some teams that when they were operating the TrackMan system as required by the game, they would only tag things as fastballs. Which made going through that kind of data really messy because I would have to hand figure out what what the pitches were each game if I wanted to make a report on it for our team.
Okay. Wow. So you and I started working together last season. Was that the first time that you had worked with the TrackMan system, or was this something you were studying in college, or?
So personally, like tagging on the TrackMan system, like recording it, that was my first time.
Okay.
But I had worked with the data set before on projects with a couple of my friends, which we started what's known as the Syracuse College Baseball Analytics Club, where we kind of worked with some collegiate teams across the country, as they provided us TrackMan data to work with.
Rad. So you essentially took something that was kind of a hobby, and you're now working a position here, doing integral stuff for the. I mean, you laugh a little bit, but I mean, it is integral stuff for the organization. Like, we know that the coaches use it. I know that the players are interested in it, and as you said earlier, the umpires are using the data as well. I mean, you're doing a lot of work that's being used by a lot of folks in the organization, and like, do the players individually come to you and want to see certain data, or is that being shared directly with them by the coaches, or how does that part work?
So it kind of changes. It's depending on the player and what he really wants. Some players aren't very deep into the analytics and rather just see speeds. Some players are kind of like deeper into it and want more specific things. So what I try to do is cater reports to the player to best suit them and how they want to use it, so they get the most out of the report. But I also create like specific reports based off what the coaches ask for. So it really depends on what the players are. This year we're creating a system where it's much more organized, so it's easier for players to access the data, not only the data but the reports that they're going to be getting. But like last year, I just handed their reports, and I'm still going to do that this year. But we're also creating a working area that way that if they lose the paper, they can still access it online.
Okay, excellent. Oh, this is amazing. Now, so it sounds like some folks in the chat may be interested in that information as well. Does the West Coast League or TrackMan have a repository that fans can go look at some of that data, or?
Not to my knowledge. All the data from the legal things that I've read are technically supposed to stay within the league and the organization.
Okay.
But I'm sure if it really, I feel like there should be a way we can get some interesting things out there to the fans. Like, maybe not like, vertical release and horizontal release and stuff like that, but like pitch speeds should be something that we may easily make available, and like kind of like also pitch types that players are throwing. Because that would be that would not only be helpful for the fans, but also be more helpful for teams that are recruiting the players, or also scouting the players who get drafted.
Right, and I know that statistical data is becoming more and more important. We've seen, I think, hit hard down the right field line. Will it stay foul? No, or stay fair? No, just drifts foul. That was probably maybe 5-8 feet wide of the Mr. Plywood sign down there in right field. And look at that, the little leaguers out on the berm managed to get the baseball. Well done, friends. Okay, so yeah, sorry, all 30 major league teams now have deep analytics departments.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're very much wanting and looking over this data when they're looking for prospects to draft and bring into the organization. So
oh yeah, this is like vital to their organization. A lot of the top teams that you see kind of being the top consistently are among the best at analytics.
Okay.
And some teams are still lacking behind, and they kind of evident in showing it. Or there's some teams like the A's, which are one of the most analytic advanced teams in the country, but they have to go through cycles each year because of just their situation, which will be changing with them going to Las Vegas.
That is true. Yes. Yeah.
But and analytics is by far the biggest in baseball in comparison of all the major sports.
Okay.
But the other sports are really showing steps to increase their analytic work because there's so much value that can be added to your organization to optimize and make yourself better.
Okay. Now, have you done any work on that level for sports other than baseball?
Yeah. So I'm now graduated from Syracuse University. So for my senior year, we had to do a thesis. A year-long thesis, and my thesis was on determining the player value of offensive linemen in the NFL using run blocking and pass blocking grades from Pro Football Focus.
Okay.
Pro Football Focus, and that's something that really hasn't been touched. That's not really been touched because there's such limited data about offensive linemen currently available because there's not really
Who's
much.
been tracking?
There's no tracking of it, right? And there's they don't really have systems available of that data that's out there. So that was kind of me attempting to create the foundations of research into offensive linemen in the NFL, and that's a big project that I worked on this past year, which I'll be working on further in the summer and the fall to make it finalized and get it published probably.
That's amazing, friends.
Thank you.
That's so cool. I'm so glad we had a chance to do this because, yes, you and I talk obviously a lot. I butcher your name every fifth game or so, apparently, for whatever godforsaken reason I keep doing that.
I've only been here for like a season and 3 weeks.
I know, friend. I know. I don't know. And I don't know why it's consistently Andrew, but it is Andrew is the name this year for whatever reason, and I'm sorry about that. Tom Jones looking for a grand slam. It sounds like we got the bases brined, and we do. 9-0 Pickles. That is Alejandro Garza at the plate. Check in on the game here for a second. Wide of the pitch on the way, fouled off towards the parking lot.
Yeah, Tom, they really don't get any respect. So I try to bring some light with them with my project, and hopefully it'll be successful.
I love the fact that we have the capacity to be able to track the lesser known positions, in other sports, or just, getting information on things that people may have had theories on before, but didn't have a way to prove that theory.
Right.
Now we have data and analytics to either back it up or disprove it.
Yeah, and we also, especially for baseball, we have a better way of evaluating the difference between players and determining which player is actually better from one versus another. And we can use things like ballpark factors and other metrics to account for those differences and actually say, okay, this player hit 300, but he didn't do better than this player that hit 280 in a season.
Oh, see, that's all so amazing to me. Well, friends, we are through 7 innings here at Walker Stadium. Your score on the board, Portland 9, Gresham nothing. We're going to step away for a quick break, and we will be back in just a few moments. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us, friends.
Of course. I'm glad
we'll
to be
do
on.
it again soon.
Sounds
Definitely.
great.
All right. Take care of yourself, friends.
Save money on your transportation costs with TriMet's reduced fare transit card. If you meet income requirements, get your first month free while you enjoy unlimited rides on buses and trains. Learn more and apply today at trimet.org/save.
Some play for the thrill. Others, the fortune. But the true legends, they play for the free drinks. Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA. Live rangerously.
Yovu Beer, classic American lager. Proud sponsor of the Portland Pickles. Locally owned and brewed in Portland, Oregon. Yovu Beer, classic American lager. It slaps. Yovu Beer, classic American lager. Proud sponsor of the Portland Pickles.
All righty, broadcast friends, welcome back to the top of the 8th. We go. Your numbers on the scoreboard for the Gresham GreyWolves: no runs on 2 base hits and no errors. For your Portland Pickles: 9 runs on 10 base hits and 1 error. Chico Huntington, Liam Gwynn, and I believe Tyler Reese due up for the GreyWolves this inning. Gary helping me out immensely this evening, and I appreciate it. As I get to have more and more practice with having guests in, I'll get better at still keeping my scorecard while talking to them. First pitch of the 8th inning, popped foul, bunted foul actually. That one a four-seam fastball at 88 miles an hour, 0-1. Chico stands back in. That is Max Jones out on the mound, who took over for Devin Patel. 0-1 pitch on the way, over for a strike at 87. Another four-seam fastball, 0-2. Tom, we will definitely do that. I have enjoyed working with Matthew despite the fact that I can't remember his name. 0-2 pitch, missing away, ball one.
When you're looking for your treasure, go down to the merch tent. The merch tent, if you have one set of coins collected.
Jones is 1-2 on the way. Floats in high at 77. That one a slider that didn't quite break all the way. 2-2. Next pitch missing away as well. Same thing, 76 this time, 3-2. We'll definitely bring him back, Tom. I've enjoyed working with Matthew immensely the last season and change. 3-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Got him strike three. Chico Huntington down on strikes. I believe that is strikeout number 14 for Pickles pitchers overall. The Knights won tonight, and the Knights won the series. Lewis Rose is checking in. That's right, doubleheader today. Eric Hardy checking in. Welcome, friend. First pitch to Liam Gwynn, swung on and missed. Four-seam fastball at 88 miles an hour, 0-1. Liam taking over for Danny Womack. 0-1 pitch fouled back. 0-2. Suppose I could run through the West Coast League scores here in just a minute. As Lewis alluded to, the Corvallis Knights splitting a doubleheader with the Bend Elks, currently leading 15-3 in the nightcap. Swung on and missed. Gwynn down on strikes. How many Ks does Ron have out there? I mean, I suppose he should probably have 27 just to be safe. He said he lost. Well, one of them is in my house. He gave me one at the end of last season. I hung it with all of my pickle posters in all of the Artist Series posters from last year. Ridgefield Raptors 7, Cowlitz Black Bears 6. That game final. Harbor Cats over the Pippins 12-2. That game also final. Swung on and missed. Count goes to 0-2 on Tyler Reese. Port Angeles lefties beating Kamloops 2-1. Riverhawks 8, Nanaimo 1. That game also final. 0-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and popped it shallow left center field. Going back on the ball. Alejandro Garza makes the play, and that will do it for the GreyWolves here in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. To the bottom of the 8th we go. 9-0 Portland. Because I barely have a handle of what's actually going on here this evening, I hope the broadcast caught the fact that Clint Baxter was doing finger conducting during the crowd's rendition of Sweet Caroline. That was delightful and just one of those Easter eggs that I hope you all caught. All righty, baseball friends. New pitcher on the mound for the Gresham GreyWolves. That is number 27, Blake Stavros. 0-1 pitch on the way. 0-2 the count. I have obviously missed a lot of what's going on here. 0-2 pitch popped up to the right side. Danny Womack out making the, wait, no, not. Liam Gwynn. Wasn't it Gwynn that took over for Womack?
Number 36, Robin Yoshida.
Well, you know. Draven Nushida to the plate. Was Jack Eichler out at first. Or on the pop out, excuse me. P6. 1-0 pitch on the way. Misses outside at 72. Ball 2, 2-0. We're just winging it now, friend. Like, into his motion now. 2-0 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Count moves to 2-1 on Nushida. Stavros goes into his motion now. Brings in the 2-1 high and outside. Ball 3, 3-1. I keep saying I'm not going to guess the pitches, and I do. It will bite me. That one was a change up at 75. Wind and the 3-1 pitch on the way. Misses low, ball 4. So Nishida works a 1-out walk. It's at least the third time that he's been aboard tonight. Jackson Waller to the dish. Wow, the wind coming directly at that microphone now. First pitch, Waller sees this bat over for a strike. 0-1, 81 mile an hour two-seam fastball over the outer part of the plate. Rosa Briseño joining the chat. Welcome. 0-1 pitch now, swung on, and that one hit to deep left center field. No, not quite. The outfield is where baseballs go to die. Long fly ball out there. That was Tyler Reese. F7 for out number 2. Draven Nushida having to return to first base. That's going to bring up Cooper Witten. Nushida a lead over at first base. Stavros comes set. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Gets away from the catcher. Moving down to second base on the wild pitch. Well done. Good road runner. Dylan's costume is so good tonight. That's probably one of the best ones we've gotten. 0-1 pitch on the way. Over for a strike at 82. Four-seam fastball. Count goes to 0-2 on Cooper Witten. Witten's got at least a double, a run scored, an RBI, and an HBP to his credit. Look back towards second base. Stavros' 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, got him. Cooper Witten strikes out. And that'll do it for Portland here in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one runner left on. Friends, to the 9th inning we go. Portland 9, Gresham nothing.
I'm just not ready to go back to a gym.
Well, clearly you haven't gone crunch mode.
Crunch mode?
It's the feeling that you get
when you finish up a set.
Everyone working up a sweat. When you're hating your trainer, the lover when you're done.
Working out the meal, you know the one. Yeah, that's crunch mode.
Crunch mode.
Join Crunch Fitness. Membership start at $9.99 a month.
Fitness.
Welcome back, baseball friends. New pitcher on the mound for your Pickles, number 99, Zach Alsos. He is on to face Blaze Hare, Matthew Matheny, and Jaden Junta, if my scorebook is anywhere near right still. Mo was asking how long we have for the over-under. I said 3 hours and 1 minute. First pitch was at 7:14 this evening. That would make 10:15 the over-under mark. So there's still 23 minutes. 3 outs in 23 minutes. That's what we're up against here. I took the over and should not have. Oh well. Most of the press box took the under this evening. Actually, no, we're split 3-3. Interesting. Elsos, at the very least, a side armor, occasionally, maybe, hopefully, a submariner. Crowd doing a pretty good job bringing it during tonight's rendition of Shout. Credit where credit is due. Also credit where credit is due. Good sized crowd here on a Friday night. Should be interesting to see what Saturday and Sunday look like. Remember, tomorrow night, game time, 7:05 for Zoo Animal Night. And then on Sunday, a 6:05 start time for Father's Day and Little League Sunday. First pitch swung on and missed. Two-seam fastball at 89 miles an hour, 0-1. Blaze Hare's been aboard at least twice in the game so far. 0-1 pitch on the way, well outside at 88. Ball one. Jeremiah wasn't quite done shouting just yet. 1-1 pitch on the way, over for a strike at 88 miles an hour, two-seam fastball, 1-2. Now, Gary, I know we talked about this before. His release point's about a 90 degree, so he really is more of a side armor than a submariner, right? Meh. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. I totally dig that, but I do love me a submariner. 2-2 the count on Blaze Hare. Pitch on the way. Got the outside part of the plate. Took some off of that. A 76 mile an hour slider strikeout, number one for Zach. Holy cow, that is 16 strikeouts for Pickles pitchers overall. I don't know what Ron the K-Man set the over-under at for strikeouts tonight, but guaranteed the over hit. No, Tom is not drinking bourbon anymore during baseball games. Or ever, it sounds like. First pitch to Matthew Matheny, catches the outer part of the plate. Another slider at 75, strike one. Zach having some success with his off-speed pitches tonight. Next one catches the outer part of the plate. Another off-speed pitch at 76. Good-looking slider, 0-2. Pink lemonade's delightful. I haven't had pink lemonade in a while. Sounds good, actually. 0-2 pitch on the way from Zach. Swung on and missed. Got him, strike three. Back-to-back strikeouts for Zach. Elsos, 17 overall. Wow. I hope somebody gets a photo of that. That is a ton of Ks out there on the wall. Like, that is legitimately bonkers out there. Danny Womack to the plate. 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Zach comes set. First pitch to Danny, missing outside, ball one. Zach comes set, now brings in the 1-0. Just missing, 75-mile-an-hour slider. I like waking up without a hangover. I don't blame you, Debbie. Pickles faithful making some noise. 2-0 pitch on the way, fouled off towards the parking lot. 2-1. Womack sporting an amazingly blue helmet that looks great in the lights of the stadium tonight. Zach set at the waist, 2-1 pitch on the way. In there, first strike, 88-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball. Pickles faithful slowly rising to their feet. Would like to see Zach strike out one more batter tonight. He comes set at the waist. Number 99's 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. 3 strikeouts in the 9th inning. 18 strikeouts overall for your Portland Pickles pitchers this evening. And everybody who takes the under tonight goes home a winner. Well, friends, it was a different kind of broadcast this evening, and I hope that you enjoyed the show tonight. Remember that we are going to be back here tomorrow evening at 7:05 p.m. West Coast time as your Portland Pickles play host to the Springfield Drifters. Tomorrow night's game starts at 7:05, Sunday's game at 6:05, and Game 3 of that series on Monday, June 19th. Service Industry Night and Juneteenth celebration evening. That game will also start at 7:05. Thanks for joining us on the broadcast, friends. We will be back here tomorrow night. Until then, have yourself a great evening and go Pickles.